What's bucking, guys? Kuriosop here. We're back with another One Piece discussion video. This is One Piece chapter 1173 titled Warrior Generation, and a very interesting development happened in this chapter. But first, before we get to that, we gotta talk about Zoro's plan, which I had a feeling this is what Zoro's plan was, but it seems his plan is just basically to slash him very hard, which it's a sound plan just because in the recent God Valley flashback, Loki flashback, and like recent chapters, it's shown that if you have like a stronger enough advanced conqueror's hockey or like strong enough hockey in general, you can sort of reverse the effects of Emu's powers, Emu's regeneration, Domi Reversi powers. So yeah, it seems like that's what Zoro's plan is, and that's what he's gonna try to do, which I mean, it would have sort of been funny if Zoro had a more elaborate plan than that, but it's Zoro, so what can I say? Not much you can really do about that, but more to the more interesting part of this chapter, which is Brook development, which I'm loving the Brook development we've been getting in like Whole Cake Island and now Elbath. I wish Usopp would get this development. Come on, it's been like 10 plus years since Dressrosa came out, and this is supposed to be Usopp's arc. We need something, Oda. We need something for Usopp, but anyways, enough of that. But basically, uh, brain farting. Brook knew Gumko in the past, which obviously happened, but basically she was a princess called Princess Shiri, which is probably her real name, and Gumko or whatever is the name Emu and the Holy Knights gave her or something like that. But basically, Brook is like, I don't want to speak to you because you killed your own father, which there's probably more to it than that, just because she seems to still like Brook, like when she regained her senses or whatever, and Emu's just like, who the hell are you, Brook? Like, how dare you, like, basically, fuck. What's bunking, guys? This is Kuriosop here. We're back with another One Piece discussion video. This is One Piece chapter 1173 titled Warrior Generation, which a very interesting development happened in this chapter. But before we get to that development, we gotta talk about Zoro's plan, which seems to be just let's just slash him very hard, which I had a feeling that's what Zoro's plan was, but it's a sound plan just because in the flashbacks and like recent chapters, it's shown that if you have a strong enough advanced conquerors hockey and hockey in general, you could go past the effects of the W Reversi and basically Emu's regeneration powers. So, that seems to be what Zoro's trying to do here, which I was kind of hoping just for shits and giggles it was going to be a more elaborate plan, but this is Zoro we're talking about here, so it's not going to be something extra complex besides what I just said, slash him very hard, whatever he just recently learned that he has Conqueror's Hockey, so seems like that's what Zoro's going to be doing there, but more to the more interesting part of this chapter, in my opinion, is we have more Brook development, which I'm loving the Brook development we've been getting in Whole Cake Island and now in Elbath. Brook stocks are up right now. Usopp stocks, we're not gonna talk about it, but come on, Oda. It's been like 10 plus years since Dressrosa came out. We need something for Usopp. Like every other triad's had their moment besides Usopp in the past 10 years or so. We need something for Usopp. This is supposed to be his arc. He's been excited to go to Elbath all this time, so we need something for Usopp, and soon at that. But yeah, anyways, more on the Brook thing. Basically, Brook and Princess Shiri, which is Gunko, as we know in the present time, he knew her like long ago or whatever, which that was obvious from recent chapters, but more elaboration on that. Basically, she was a princess at one point, and Brook basically thinks she killed her father, which there's probably more to it than that. It's probably like another Loki and Hydrodon situation and Herald situation to where she was probably forced to kill him, or maybe she didn't kill him. She was like framed or whatever. But I have a feeling Yumu had something to do with that. He probably controlled her father, and she basically had to kill him because he was Domi Reversied or whatever. But I'm interested to see more about that, and obviously Oda's gonna go more into detail about that flashback. But basically, Ibu loses control over Moonko or Shiri, whatever you want to call her, and basically her arrow powers are lets Brook free and the other Strides free, like Nami, Usopp, and Jinbei. Robin's still under the thorns by Summers, but she's probably gonna get free soon just cause later in the chapter Summers is kind of under duress. But anyways, I'm interested to see where this Brook and Princess Shuri story goes. Oda is cooking right now with Brook. But yeah, that's what's happening with that. Umu's basically mad because he's losing control over Gunko because she's coming to her senses. So yeah. But next off, we have the Giants going to basically save the children, and they're basically fighting back against these like dream nightmare monsters that Killingham created. And basically, they do a sovereignty through the nightmare Nika, and the Nika goes crashing into the ship. And Summers is like, oh, what the hell's going on here? He's like panicking a little bit. So interested to see where that goes. Obviously, Rhodey saves his brother, which Rhodey development, I guess, even though he's still a creep. But nah, we're not looking past that. He's still a creep, but yeah. He did his thing this chapter, I guess. But anyways, leave a like, comment what you thought about this chapter and what's going to happen in the next few chapters. Subscribe if you're new, because we're going to be continuing on with these discussion videos. And yeah, this is Creosop signing off. Peace out.